Many interesting and beautiful cars failed miserably on the market, and our list of the biggest flops includes some surprising vehicles. When the phrase biggest automotive flops is mentioned, the same name comes to mind. The Edsel, Pinto, Vega, Aztec and others have become bywords for the most disastrous automobiles. However, the statistics tell a different story. The Yugo may be considered the worst car ever built, but it was a big seller, and it's not alone. A few of these cars boast good sales, much like some bomb movies made money. Hey guys, welcome to another exciting video from our channel. In this video, we will show you the biggest car manufacturer mistakes. But first, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button to avoid missing any of our videos. So without further ado, let's begin. When a car fails to achieve such high sales, it is far more deserving of the label flop. Supercars are obviously exempt because they are meant to be exclusive. However, it is remarkable how many automobiles were produced with high hopes only to have poor sales. According to records, there are 10 of the worst selling cars ever made, and thus deserve the moniker worst automotive sales disasters ever. Number 10, the DMC-12 DeLorean, 8,583 units sold. Let's face it, if it weren't for Back to the Future, most people today would have forgotten about the DeLorean, let alone think it's worth buying. Many owners quickly realised that the car is useless without a flux capacitor and hover wheels. John Z. DeLorean designed the DeLorean DMC-12. He was the automotive genius behind the Pontiac GTO, so he had some serious street cred. Then he went rogue and designed the sports car, humbly named after himself, which was built in Northern Ireland during one of its less stable periods by workers who had never been trained to build cars. When the electrical system failed, the DMC-12's powered gull-wing doors were at best leaky and at worst trapped the drivers inside. To add insult to injury, John DeLorean was eventually brought down in a money laundering sting involving that most 80s of cliches, cocaine. Number 9, the Pontiac G3, 6,237 units sold. Pontiac was clearly in big trouble by the late 2000s. Nonetheless, the G3's performance is astounding. It was rebadged Chevy Aveo with a pitiful 1.6 litre, 106 horsepower engine, which was bad even for a Super Mini. Let's be honest, the Pontiac was on the verge of going out of business in early 2009. The Arrowhead badge had only recently been humiliated by the Aztec and let down by the Solstice. The G3 however did not do the brand any favours by being the shortest running model in Pontiac history. The G3's foundation car was sold in 120 countries under 5 different brands, but none were more suited to the tiny Korean eco-no-box than the Pontiac. Number 8, the Acura ZDX, 5,677 units sold. The fact that this car was designed by a 25-year-old with no prior experience should have been a major red flag. The Acura 7DX wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. The issue was that no one wanted it when the better and less expensive MDX was right there. Even with low expectations of 6,000 sales in the first year, Acura was surprised that the ZDX only received half of that. When it was pulled in 2013, sales had dropped to 361. This could be Acura's biggest embarrassment. Number 7, the Lincoln Blackwood, 3,356 units sold. Lincoln was confident that the Blackwood would be a success. The 10,000 units sold each year. Over 3,300 were built in their single year of production. It's amazing they got so many. Lincoln's research department discovered an interesting fact 15 years ago. A large percentage of Lincoln owners also own pickup trucks. Naturally, Lincoln saw an opportunity and decided to build a pickup truck. So what went wrong with the Blackwood? One major reason in my opinion is that it had a trunk. That's right, the Blackwood was a pickup truck with a trunk, or rather a bed cover as standard equipment. The point of this was never fully explained. Number 6, the Triumph Stag, 2,871 units sold. Cars like the Stag are a good reason why Triumph is no longer in business. The name sounds awful for a sports car, and the final product was even worse. It had what was possibly the worst V8 engine ever designed, with numerous flaws contributing to a pathetic performance. Even the James Bond film Diamonds Are Forever couldn't save it. While 25,000 were produced over a 7-year period, only about 3,000 were sold in the United States, making it one Bond car to avoid. Number 5. Bricklin SV1, 2,096 units sold. Malcolm Bricklin was a fascinating fellow and a daring entrepreneur. Bricklin was responsible for introducing Subaru to the North American market, as well as importing Fiat X19s, badged as Baretones and the infamous Yugo. But he is the best known for his self-titled Canadian-made sports car, the Bricklin SV1. Starting a completely new car company in the 70s North America was difficult, but Bricklin had a vision of his own, safety sports car, and was determined to make it a reality. The Bricklin SV1 may be at the top of the list of the worst selling sports cars of all time. It's easy to overlook the fact that the title refers to Safety Vehicle 1, which is ironic given Bricklin's reputation. They were so focused on making it look good and safe they forgot about the speed, which was only 111 miles per hour at best. Number 4. Rover 3500, 1,100 units sold. The Rover 3500, also known as the SD1, was one of the better British cars of its time. Unfortunately, the attempt to brand it for US consumers failed miserably. The clever design was reworked with poorer headlights and a 133 horsepower V8. The appalling design was constant leaking, rusting and other issues did not help. Only about 1,100 were sold, and they are barely remembered today. Number 3. The GM EV1, 1,110 units sold. According to popular belief, the GM EV1 was a revolutionary vehicle that was crushed by the evil oil companies. The truth is a little different. Yes, an electric car sounds appealing, but the technology wasn't quite there in the mid-1990s to make it practical. In comparison to today, the battery had a range of only 100 miles and a top speed of only 80 miles an hour. The sales simply did not justify GM's continuing production. Almost all of the 1,100 were destroyed, though a few remained as pioneers of the EV movement. Number 2. Aston Martin Lagonda, 645 units sold. The Lagonda is Aston Martin's Edsel. A company known for producing incredible machines created a car that makes Malaise-era Detroit looked like a Ferrari. The typical smooth Aston Martin design was replaced by an ugly and cheap frame. Number 1. Tucker 48, 51 units sold. Preston Tucker's car has gained some notoriety as an attempt to compete with the big automotive titans of the 40s. Thanks to a Jeff Bridges film, the Tucker 48 had a massive frame but was ahead of its time in terms of features. Aside from the massive headlights, there was a rear engine and elegant interiors. Tucker even imagined an engine that could be swapped out in a matter of minutes. Unfortunately, an ugly legal case and fraud charges forced the line to close after only 51 cars. 47 survived, when it could have been a game changer. And that's all we've got for now. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the worst car manufacturer mistakes? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more. See you in the next video.